I enjoyed the naked part.
Yeah. Well, who among us? Hello, everybody. Garrett here again with a late night Thursday clip for you all because I just got back from Kyle's because we just beat Final Fantasy III for the first time. So head on over to the main channel over on Grinding Gear and check that out if that's your thing. But what's going on in Final Fantasy XIV land is an update on everything that went down last week with the mod drama. Is really no other better way to put it, but we got an official letter from Yoshi this morning. Enjoy the details. Okay. All right. Where'd the letter go? I want to see the rest of this.
You want to see the letter?
I woke up to nothing but reactions to this letter, and everyone's telling me how to feel, and I want to know how to feel myself.
Okay. Well, there's not. Okay. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but this feels like an email I was sent by accident, and my department already knows this, and I'm good. I'm sad. I'm going to have to sit through the meeting later to watch them read this whole thing.
Okay. All right.
Just wait. I'm adjusting, and then I'm gonna.
No, I don't want to move my stuff.
It's the couch stream.
No. Here.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
So we're going to respect Yoshi P's wishes, and I'm just going to read this verbatim.
Okay.
We may take breaks along the way, but we're going to read this whole damn thing because I'm going to do it in good faith, damn it. All right, chat. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Producer and director Naoki Yoshida here. I'd like to address the recent feedback and discussion among the community regarding in-game mods. This post is not meant to target any one mod specifically. I've seen people memeing about this already, which means they're not linking to this entire letter. Shame on them. Sorry. so many other people's takes are already in my head. I'd like to touch on the general subject of mods, their use, and the culture surrounding them. I thank you in advance for your understanding. Firstly, while I am in charge of FF14, I am also a PC gamer and have been for many years. Spoken about this multiple times in the past, but my own personal stance regarding mods, that I do tolerate them, has not changed. In the past 20 or so years, I've seen numerous positive examples of games with fan-made mods that expand upon existing gameplay. However, these mods are generally created with a vital premise in mind. They are for personal use only, and the individual player is responsible for the mods they use. Furthermore, the mods must not impact the core game, its services, or the intended design in a negative manner. I personally feel that these rules should be followed by all mod creators and users. That being said, if players continue to uphold the above premise of mods enhancing one's personal enjoyment of the game and acknowledge that they are taking responsibility for what they download, I personally see no reason to track down or investigate gamers for the general use of mods. This is like super consistent with what he said in the past so far.
Yep.
Like exceptionally consistent. Of course, from my position leading FF14, I still feel that it is vital for players to follow our user agreement and other rules. Additionally, this is bothering me.
Do you want me to be smaller?
I'm so sorry. I'm looking this way and I'm not looking at the,
God.
And it is my sincerest hope that everyone can continue playing FF14 as well as other PC games in ways that are enjoyable to them. That's great because it's like everything that came before this still holds with that statement. All right, below, I'd like to elaborate on what infringing upon others and negatively impacting the intended game design entail. These are merely examples, so I don't mind if you skip over them. Please keep in mind that these theoretical examples do not single out any particular mod. Furthermore, this is not a criticism of those who create or use mods. The following is meant to deepen everyone's understanding of our stances on this matter. This is so polite.
Tracks.
I'd really like to point some folks' responses that I've seen on the internet in the last week and a half to this letter. Like this is what I thought. Like you can still have fun. You can still meme. You can still get on each other's case, razz each other. That's fine. But you don't need to like constantly be rude. I've seen just so many rude people, man.
It's easy.
That are just like so determined. They're so concerned with being right or being based that they forget to be part of a community. And it's just so annoying that I now feel the need to like just ask people to be nice. So yeah. Altering item and character appearances. In FF14, we have several extremely high-end duties that challenge players to their limit, known as ultimate raids. To defeat the enemies within these raids, players must dedicate a significant amount of time and effort. As the reward for clearing, they earn the title of Legend, as well as job-specific weapons with specialized visual effects. Let's say a player loves Ultimate Raids and is motivated to challenge them at every opportunity. After they clear, they proudly equip their new title and weapon as proof of their party's diligent efforts to earn them. Meanwhile, we have player B, who makes use of a specific mod. This mod allows them to bypass the conditions for obtaining in-game items, making it possible for them to equip any item in the game, including items that must be purchased with real money. Player B is busy with work, and although they have the motivation, their circumstances prevent them from progressing through any of the ultimate raids. They decide instead to install a mod so that they can at least see what it looks like to have their own character equipped with one of the ultimate raid weapons.
How very understanding.
I also just want to give a shout out to the fact that he even mentions like purchasing things with real money, because boy, people who are like, really mad about Mari going away, they bring that up a lot.
Oh, you're going to like the later part then.
Oh, okay. Player B uses said mod to equip a set of items, which only displays on their client's screen. To other players, Player B's model is only wearing default gear, but on Player B's monitor, they're equipped with a dazzling ultimate weapon. They take a screenshot of their character and decide to use it as their desktop background. In this case, Player A has followed the rules of the game and worked hard with their party to clear the ultimate raid, earning themselves a weapon and a title as evidence of their feat. When other players come across Player A using their title and ultimate weapon, they see a legend who has overcome one of the game's most punishing duties. On the other hand, should they encounter Player B, they would simply see a character with their default gear. Let's imagine a scenario which Player A and B cross paths in game. On Player B's screen, Player A appears with their brand new title and ultimate weapon, the same weapon that they appear to themselves as having equipped. Conversely, on Player A's screen, Player A appears with their title and hard-won weapon, while Player B appears in their default gear. In other words,
Player B.
Sorry, what?
Get wrecked, Player B.
In other words, Player A sees the rewards each player has earned fairly within the context of the game's rules. Player B sees a modified version of the game, but these changes are visible only to Player B themselves and thus fall within the realm of individual enjoyment. Please note that this is not intended as a judgment on the virtue of one's approach versus the other.
Don't get wrecked, Player B.
This makes me feel so much better about how much I use parentheticals when I write. I use so many parentheticals.
The Yoshi P parenthetical?
Dude.
The Yoshi parenthetical?
Similarly, if a player chooses to install a mod, the risk of encountering a computer virus, for example, is borne by the individual. Additionally, mods that do not adversely affect other players and which ensure visual changes are only visible to the individual user can be said to narrowly maintain the integrity of the game's design, although, of course, this is open to interpretation. However, if a mod was updated and its changes become visible not just to the individual mod user, but to the other players too, what would the implications be? Player A, with their title and gear earned from hours of concerted effort with their friends, and Player B, with their mod-derived gear, are now on a level playing field, so to speak. This development may not concern Player B, but for Player A, it considerably negates the cooperation, time, and effort invested, not to mention the pride they might have felt in their achievement. After all, their rewards are now available to anyone with the mod installed, albeit lacking the corresponding in-game attributes. In this example, other players have been infringed upon and the intended design of the game has been negatively impacted. Although Player B may have been unaware of the mod's precise functionality, their usage has diminished other players' motivations and circumvented the game systems, even if the creator of the mod simply intended for players to readily access and enjoy their favorite gear. They have detrimentally affected both the game and the wider player community. In response, our only options would be to ask that players cease using the mod or to request that the mod creator removes the functionality causing the problem. Of course, we could also implement preventative measures in-game, but this would divert programming resources from other areas, potentially damaging the enjoyment of other players in the long run. This is so deeply written with like the mindset of what makes players pursue difficult content in a game like Final Fantasy XIV. This is so nerdy, and I say that positively. Like this really gets into like what makes raiders raid.
I don't think there's a good way to encapsulate what he's saying any differently, because it's not fundamentally correct, which is what most mod users are going to point out. However, psychologically, what he's saying is still accurate. Because the way it works is you have to have the mod and you have to have the client, blah, 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 to connect to even see the stuff in the first place.
Yeah.
However, he's also attempting to get at the idea in so many words. And it's hard to describe if you're talking to someone who doesn't know it, because I didn't know it earlier this week until I got more private messages about how I was wrong about it.
About what?
How the whole system, like opting in, who's sharing what, the agreed upon, that we both have this mod to see each other kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
What he's getting out here is saying the fact that even exists, the fact that knowing players out there have the gear you have and the titles that you have, and collectively there is a large community of people, perhaps 10% of the player base has been quoted recently, who is bypassing the systems that you're working hard for, diminishes your enjoyment and the systems at play.
I mean, from the first time I ever heard Yoshi P talk about mods, I've liked that it's not corporate speak. Right? Like, and I don't know. I'm not trying to even win an argument, but I'm like, I know some people are like, oh, the worship of Yoshi P is cringe or whatever. But it's like, I don't worship him. I've been burnt too many times being a huge fan of game developers. I'm just not really about that life anymore. But what I can do is just look at how creators of games communicate with their audience, because most of them do it. Someone on the team of every video game eventually talks to the public. And I've seen it all, and this just this is very technical, but it doesn't read like corporate speak. And the last time to the first time I heard Yoshi P talk about mods, it's consistent. He just talks about how, like, listen, like, if it's your thing, it's your thing, but we can't endorse it. Keep it on the down low, and we'll all be fine.
And it gets better.
The scenario outlined above is just one example, but I hope it helps clarify the differences between mod usage within the realm of individual enjoyment and mod usage which is damaging to the game itself. Some players might ask, well, what about a mod which only makes changes visible to the other users of the same mod? The issue is that any mod which makes changes visible to others requires the manipulation of rewriting of game files, which is fundamentally even more problematic and destructive. Even supposing that this theoretical mod provided generous improvements to the game and was well received by all players, the moment a problematic feature is introduced to said mod, we must insist that players stop using it. Another example of such a feature, a mod that allows players to freely equip optional items and display them to others. What does that say to the players who go through the trouble of saving up to purchase these goods from the 14 online store? Are these players losing out by not using a mod? Some may say that Square Enix is to blame for trying to make money by demanding that players spend extra on optional items. Wow, he's going for it.
Oh, yeah.
Holy shit. Okay. I was like, all right, this is starting to sound like corporate speak.
Go big, go big.
We operate our servers and data centers 24 hours a day, 365 days a year with the hope that our players can enjoy a reliable gaming experience. Currently, global inflation is taking its toll at a rapid pace, driving up server electricity costs, the cost of land, and even the price of servers themselves. We do not want to increase subscription fees for players, if at all possible. But keeping our game running requires sufficient income. If we start creating a deficit, FF14 may no longer be able to operate. This is an example of damage dealt to the services we provide. In these cases as well, we ask that players refrain from using such mods or remove the offending function from the mod itself. I personally understand that modding culture is rooted in good intentions, but we are given no choice but to act if mods even incidentally threaten player motivation or the viability of our services. That is like such a realist take.
Go one more paragraph.
All right. Let's consider another theoretical mod, one that displays your character entirely naked. If this presentation is displayed only on the user screen, that might fall into the category of personal use and responsibility. Bear in mind that this is my personal interpretation and not a discussion of whether that behavior is right or wrong. My brother. However, if the user posts a screenshot of their naked character publicly on social media, FF14 itself may be subject to legal measures by regulators in certain countries. That is a hot button topic right now, and what a lot of people were theorizing.
There it is.
Laws that regulate the content of video games grow stricter by the year. These laws are there to protect minors and for a variety of other reasons, but the fact remains that they are tangibly becoming stricter. We have a duty to provide our services in adherence to the laws of all countries where FF14 is available, and if we are unable to do so, the distribution of our game can be prohibited. This is another example of damage dealt to our services. Allow me to repeat myself when I say that I do not intend for these examples to be a censure of mod users or creators. I only wish to provide some tangible examples of how using certain mods can damage other players, FF14, and the services we provide, regardless of the mod's original intent. I really want to shout out this section, just this one little thing of like saying, ask that players refrain from using such mods or remove the offending function from the mod itself. It's like, dude is speaking to mod creators here.
Yeah, well, he games, you know, he understands that it's fun to do.
Yeah.
You know, Skyrim and all that. Like,
I'm to be completely honest, I thought I was going to be horribly bored by reading this because, I don't know, like.
I enjoyed the naked part.
Yeah. Well, I mean, who among us don't say that often about many things?
Well, and like that to me, more than anything, is like I am aware. I am perfectly aware.
Yeah.
And it's not even like begging, please stop. It's a simple statement of like how this can be damaging. And even the stuff that's like, yo, we got to make money if you're bypassing the shop by getting those items in mod. I understand your rebelliousness of this particular thing, but we're trying not to increase prices, and we're trying not to
get banned,
and then we're trying not to get banned, and then the amount it would take in order to like put in anti cheats.
This isn't and this isn't
covers it.
This isn't even like an entirely new thing. It's not quite the same, but I see it cut from the same cloth in terms of like public outrage and a country specific outrage and concern about retailers' outrage. You remember the hot coffee incident with GTA 3 San Andreas?
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Hot coffee mod.
No,
there was a romance feature that was cut from the game where there was depicted sex scenes in in GTA San Andreas. It was cut from the game, but the code was still there, and you could modify the game to gain access to it.
Sure.
And it became a massive, like, it was national headlines in the United States, and they pulled those, like, it led to them pulling copies from shelves across the entire United States, and they had to reproduce the game with that code stripped out.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. It was so tame by today's standards. These sex scenes fully clothed characters in GTA, and also it's GTA 3. Like, the graphics were not realistic, but it was enough to like completely make people lose their minds.
The one where I could go to the park and pick up a prostitute and leave money on the ground and all that kind of thing.
That's literally all GTA. Do you have any idea how little that narrows it down?
Well, in a smaller version of that was one I was really bummed about: realistic saber combat. When you buy a Steam copy of Jedi Knight, the code doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that straight up sucks.
Yeah,
that is just so lame.
It's a T for teen game, and you could dismember people, and it was freaking sick.
Honestly, get it re-rated M and put it out, because I want that version.
But they removed it.
Yeah. What is T for teen and what is M for mature these days is insane. But like thinking about like M for mature games now and their depiction of like sexual encounters, like you think about like The Witcher, you think about Mass Effect, Dragon Age. Like it's so much more risque than what happened with something that you couldn't even access in San Andreas without modification. And yet it was a much larger national moral panic. In a way, like, I don't know. If you're trying to be a grump, I think you could say there's nothing new here. It's really funny that he says not calling out any mod in particular, and then goes on to describe in great detail a mod that sounds very familiar to me. Yeah,
but what I was told all week is that's petty of player A. That was the message I received back, is that no matter how you cut this, if it's being removed because it's infringing on the player's experience to get those rewards, player A here needs to grow up. But it's a psychological issue.
Player B was the mod player in this example.
Exactly. And player A is the one being told to grow up by the community today, because they're being petty, because they're saying, knowing there's a mod community out there, being worried about the bee's knees or whatever, or carbuncles.
So I'm not sure what you're getting at. Are you saying that Yoshi P took a side with this? Because I don't think he took a side.
No,
I think he is just laying out, like, there's two types of players that they both feel this way and they're at odds with each other. And if anything, I think it's coming down to him just being like, listen, valid, but we have to protect our property.
What I'm explaining is why he had to describe it the way he did in order to show both sides. And many people are going to see, because I've already heard it, player A is in the wrong for wanting mods gone because it's not affecting them. And here he describes how it is affecting them. And then he goes on to describe player C, who is the corporation and the money they're losing.
It's not player. He's going to describe Square.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, ends on, as always, we will do our utmost to keep creating a world which all players can enjoy, even though it may take time to do so. It is my hope to incorporate player feedback and officially fulfill as many functionality requests as possible. I am also considering how to increase the freedom of choice players have in the gear they choose to equip. While paying respect to the long-standing tradition of modding PC games, I ask that all players in turn respect our game by enjoying their fun within the confines of some basic rules. And then to the FanFest comment that we've already read.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good letter. I've legit, I just woke up and like the first 5 damn things I saw on social media were people just like ripping on American players in this like American players are dumb, Japanese players are awesome, like versus thing that we always seem to see, and it's never from the Japanese players. And so I was just like, I'm sure this is just going to be some boilerplate letter that has fueled that what I find to be kind of an annoying part of the community. But no, this is super fair. This is super consistent. This is really well laid out. And at the end of the day, we're exactly where we were before, which is do what you want to do, but keep it on the down low for breaking the rules.
Yeah. It's I wouldn't want to be this letter because I would be hacked to pieces and posted against the wishes of my own wording.
Well, that is why there's that red text.
He tries his best, and you can't describe the issue of player A or B without going into details in a paragraph setting. That's how a 3-paragraph setting works, is you say your statements and then you summarize. We need to make 2 articles and have them side by side all at once, so that you have to read both statements at the same time. Like Cliff Notes, like the Shakespeare guides where it had the English in the corners, like a full translation.
I'm anxious to see what like some of our buddies think about this. I'm anxious to see like Happy. I wonder if Jesse ends up reading this anytime soon.
See that? Well, here we go skewing again, because there it's skewed, right?
How is it skewed?
Because of course most content creators are going to be either towing the line or no mods at all because they stream. And so you're going to find the majority of influencer comments on this probably pretty unsympathetic.
I mean, I don't know, but what I've seen out of like Happy so far has been pretty damn fair. Like, I like, you know me, I don't like Boy Scout energy. I'm like these massive corporations, they don't need us policing on their behalf. And I just like, that's where I'm like, cringe, that's where I wince.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen anyone that we're buds with just being like, mods are the villain and you're the devil if you use them. Like, I haven't seen anyone taking that stance either. So yeah, I don't know.
This is where the streamer has to get out the paint diagram too, because you can also say stuff like, well, you just announced less content and I was making my own content, so what a terrible time. Like, no, player A and player B sucks. Good luck, Yoshi P. This sucks to have to handle. And if Mr. Happy's right, on repeat, every single expansion on a loop.
Well, I mean, that's even covered in the final statement of like, listen, it's gonna, even when it takes time to make things like that, that's a knowing nod to how long it takes for them to create content. Good letter.
Good letter.
Good letter.
Good letter.
There you go. Jesus.
Well,
there you go. Sorry.
I wanted to use my major.
Your
in
knee
theater.
is touching my knee, dude.
I wanted to use my major in theater, but you had to muscle in with your degree in graphic design.
That's our relationship,
and
that's what makes our channel our channel.
All right, but I'm still gonna sit real close to you so I can read over your
Fine,
shoulder.
that's fine. That's fine. All right. Garrett not wanting to Kyle cooties. I just don't like hairy knees touching my knees.
But you could shave your legs.
That would still be hairy knees touching my knees.
I could shave my legs.
There you go.
Would you feel better about that?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Because Chad would be a lot more amused.
I would be more hydrodynamic.